So at some point, I guess in your later high school years, you started hustling.
No doubt. Well, to be honest with you, you hustled back in the '80s. You hustled because the hustle was always there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like a next level hustle.
Yeah. I got to I made it to the next level and shit. You know what I mean? And I only smiled because I didn't, you caught me off guard with that. But yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And I took over a lot of territory based on I was passionate with this shit. You know what I mean? And it's a story behind that we gonna get to a little later. But what really happened was when I came home from the state pen. You know what I mean? And I came home at 21.
So you caught a case.
Yeah, I caught a case and shit. I caught a robbery. The robbery that I was telling you about. I caught the robbery. I caught a couple drive-by shootings, and dudes didn't end up coming to court for the drive-bys. I had 2 drive-bys and a robbery. I'm in the county jail with the big homies, and to even go back, my first case, I didn't catch no juvenile case, which you asked me a while ago. I bypassed it all. Didn't miss no wreck, I just bypassed it. I never get caught. So I go to the county jail, my first time going to the county jail. We over here in Fire Deuce Hoover with my cousin, and we catch GTA. So I get a knockdown and receiving stolen property, and do a little county jail time. As soon as I get there, I go to the module, because I was tatted.
4,300?
Nah, 43 was dismembered by then. You know what I mean? Because I don't make it to, I'm not 18 till 91. Okay. So by the time I get to the county, it's 21, 23. They had just got rid of 43. You know what I mean? And now it's single man cell 21, 23. So I hit the module and shit. Same dudes, different unit. You know what I mean? So I hit the module and shit, man. You got the homies in there fighting murder, multiple murders. You know what I mean? Moon from Swan, J-Rock from Crenshaw, J-Lo from Crenshaw Mafia, motherfucking Tiptoe from Bonnie Hunter just got life without. You know what I mean? And Dog from Nine Deuce Bishop. All these dudes in there fighting these murders. And I come in here with a receiving stolen property. That was my first time cutting my teeth. And so I get off on that. And
what was your the module experience like for you?
Well, the first time it was more or less like I seen the homies was in there fighting serious crime. They didn't want to fuck with no motherfuckers in there for no motherfucking weeks and shit like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I was a Piru, so the Piru was gonna make sure I kept it. You know what I mean? Now on that, I only stayed out 27 days before I went back. Now the cold part about it is when I went that first time, I actually got out of jail and went back to school. Went back to Gar High School in Cerritos, went back to school. I'm back in the class. I was only gone, month or two, you know what I mean? So I'm back in high school. 27 days later is like I say, when I go to jail for the robbery, they had already had 2 shootings on me waiting for me. That they was trying to they didn't have all the pieces together, but they had them, you know what I mean? So when I go back, I got the 2 drive-bys and the robbery, and 27 days, I go right back. Now I'm back in the module.
So they just came and picked you up?
Nah, well, for the robbery, yeah, no doubt. Remember I told you I was on my way to school.
No, I'm talking about after you went to the county, got out, then they picked you up for the drive-bys.
No, I went to the county, I got out, I did the robbery, and when they picked me up on that, they already had 2 shootings that they was investigating me for, that they just hadn't came and got me yet because they didn't have all their pieces together. You know what I mean? And so now I'm back in the county jail in the blood module. Now my ideology is different.
So you're sitting in the county fighting this case, basically?
Sitting in the county fighting my case.
And you end up taking a deal?
Not on that. My father died. You know what I mean? Which we can go back to that because you know what I mean.
This is 1990?
91.
91.
Yeah.
So does he pass while you're in the county?
He passed while I'm in the county fighting my case. You know what I mean? But if we back up to 1990, that's when my brother got killed.
Okay, so let's back up. 1990, you're still in high school, right?
I'm still in high school, yeah.
What happens to your older brother?
The Crips killed my brother. Okay. Yeah, he killed my brother in Inglewood and shit. And I was 17, the day after my 17th birthday. And that's kind of what really, really took me over, from when I had that 1 feet in and that 1 feet out. I've been talking all this time. Mm-hmm. When the Crips killed my brother, it was game on.
And that must have had a huge impact on you. You're going to the funeral for actually probably a family member for the first time that died in the streets.
My brother. Like you said, you had been to funerals for different people, homies and shit like that. But when you go and it's your brother, you know what I mean? It's a whole different feeling, you know what I mean? And my brother he was representing, you know what I mean? But the thing about it was, Thing about it was, Alex, that I didn't know the toll that it was take. I never saw the toll what it take on a parent. So I had to watch my mother, lose her baby. You know what I mean? And that hurt me most because, like I say, my brother, we knew the business. We out here pushing the line, we putting in work, we doing the shit we do. We didn't have no problem with, basically shit happened in the streets. But when I seen my mother go through that emotionally, that fucked me up right there.
Your father must be in the early stages of his illness when your brother gets killed? Or?
Yeah, well, as soon as my brother get killed at 90, I catch the case. I go to jail. I'm in the county jail. I call that day from the module. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I never forget it was a deputy named Steele and shit that came down the tier. Like, Steele, fuck that. Let me out this motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? Let me get on the tier, man. Steele like, all right, do me a favor. You collect all the trays and shit. I'll let you out for a couple hours. They used to do that back then. So the deputy let me out for a couple hours. I collect all the little food trays from the homies, running kites back and forth for the homie, passing the tobacco and shit or whatever the homies needed me to do on the tier. After that, I get on the phone. You know what I mean? I called my pops because I knew he was ill. You know what I mean? And that had took a toll on me based on while I'm going to school and while I'm playing football, after my brother get killed, I got to come home every day and watch my pops deteriorate. He's sitting on his little lazy boy right when I walk in the pad. He deteriorating every day, man. And when I come in, it's like, it's fucking heartbreaking. This my hero. This my, you know what I mean? That's my everything. You know what I mean? And I sit there and watch him deteriorate every motherfucking day. So when I come in the house, I go in my room. I got a bottle of gin stashed up under the bed. I'm going through what I'm going through. I just lost a brother. Now Pops is just deteriorating before my very fucking eyes. You know what I mean? So I'm out in the street taking it out on niggas out in the street. I didn't give a fuck. I already had a passion for this shit. Now y'all gave me a reason to have a passion for this shit. Crimpton killed my brother. Oh, niggas cracking. You know what I mean? And so when Pops got to deteriorating, I catch a case and shit. Like I say, I go to jail, and I call him and shit. I get on a tier, and I call Pops and shit. Pops, what's happening? He like, man, what's going on, man? I said, shit, man. They let me out on the tier for a couple hours, man. I had to make sure I get on the phone with you and talk to you. You know what I mean? He like, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good today. You know what I mean? So holler at him and shit, talk to him. I feel better because he said he felt better. So the next day, we had roof time. You know what I mean? They come let us out on the roof because that's the once a week or every 3 or 4 days or something in the module. They'll come let you go up to the roof. So I go up to the roof and shit, man, and it's a bunch of phones up there on the roof. Man, let me call Pops, check on Pops. So back then they had it where you could transfer your phone calls to another number, you know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that, Alex, you know what I mean? Call forwarding, yeah, that's what it was. So my mom's answered the phone. I'm like, what's up, Mom? She like, oh, man, we up here to your grandmother's house. Big Mama, we up at Big Mama's house and shit. And it was, I'm thinking because, like, she wouldn't have left Pops, at this stage and shit. You know what I mean? And so she like, yeah, we up to Big Mama house and shit. I'm like, where Pops at? You know what I mean? She like, oh, she like, he didn't make it. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking he didn't make it up to Big Mama house. But I'm wondering who at the house with him because at this point he needs to be watched at all time. You know what I mean? And I'm like, y'all left him at the house like by himself? She like, nah, son, he didn't make it. You know what I mean? He passed away.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.